Hello and welcome back to the Unprofessional Footballer Podcast, episode 22 now of season 2. Joined with me today, we have one of the most decorated futsal players in the entire island. I would say arguably the best futsal player in the country. I don't think there's anyone within the game that would argue with that. Maybe one or two of the other players that are in the national team might back themselves and say they're also up there. But we're joined by Celino Alves, who, how long is it that you've been in Malta now?
10 years.
10 years has been proving on the pitch that he is an absolute creative wizard. I've seen him do things on the futsal court in the brief stint that I've had in futsal that honestly, I have no idea how he even sees it. It's like he has 360 vision. Celino, introduce yourself a little bit to the people.
Hi guys, I'm Celino Alves, professional futsal player from Luxol St, from Manaus, Amazonas, Brazil. So I am in Malta about 10 years and I hope to stay more.
So as I said, he is arguably one of the best futsal players on the island. And I think, as you can tell from the set, anyone who disagrees, we've got how many trophies today? 5 trophies. And I don't think that's all of them.
No, there is more at home.
I'm sure there's a big wall dedicated to all the trophies that you've been picking up. I did a little bit of research just looking through your page when I was looking for some of the artwork for the graphics. And I just saw countless amounts of Player of the Month awards, Player of the Season awards, MFPA Player of the Season awards, MFA Player of the... You name it, he's won it. League trophies, cup trophies. He is a very, very talented player. And I'm excited for everyone to be able to learn his story today and understand how he rose from Brazil and managed to find his way to Malta and become one of the stars of the national team, which I think is a really interesting story for us to cover. So, Celino, I think it's only right that we start by informing people about the game of futsal, because if, like me, 6 months ago, if someone had have asked me a question about futsal, I would not have been able to answer it. Honestly, it was a new sport to me, and I realized just how many differences there are to the game of football compared to the game of futsal. So in your kind of experience, what would you say the main differences are between the two sports?
Honestly, in my country, for example, the futsal is too many popular, no? So a lot of people, before they start playing football, they start playing futsal. So to explain for people from Brazil is more easy, but here in Malta we are growing, no, to promote the sport. Honestly, we need to do a lot of work to promote it, but it's coming up. It's growing a lot. Honestly, most of football clubs they should introduce this in their clubs, futsal, because futsal is football, but in indoor ground with short space, and from there the kids, so the young player, they can learn a lot of things: how to deal with short space, how to think fast, how to have a fast decision, how to have control of himself with short space. So there is a lot of things that futsal can be introducing in football. But unfortunately, still people think that football is football, futsal is futsal, and they cannot join it. So I think they should work together to develop the kids to be more better players in the future.
There are a few skills that are kind of fundamentally different, but they transfer over so well to the sport of football. I remember the first thing I had to learn when I started playing 6 months ago was how to control the ball. Mm-hmm. The use of the sole of the foot. Obviously, when you're wearing football boots and you've got the studs, you don't use them as much because the way the ball connects with the studs, you don't have that same level of manipulation of the ball. But when you see, if you look at the futsal shoes that we have from Celino on the table, the flat sole and the grip on the bottom of the shoe, it becomes the best way to control the ball is using the sole of the foot, and the way the players dribble, everything incorporates the sole of the foot to be able to have full control over the ball. And you have then 360 access with it. It's not you're limited to just running in a straight line. You can change the direction of the ball so quickly, which helps, like you said, in those short spaces. When you need to open a small hole, you have that opportunity to be able to drag the ball and create a different angle in a very split second. So I remember my coach spent about 2 months hammering me, because every time I controlled it, I was still controlling it like a football player inside of the foot, and the ball would go away from me a little bit, which would allow players time to come and take the ball off me.
I follow a lot of football now because I love the sport, and I played football as well when I was young. And in Premier League, I watch a lot of the games from Premier League, and especially the players from Brazil, for example, like Paquetá, like Anthony, William, Rodrigo from Real Madrid. Most of them, they control the ball with soul, because controlling the ball with soul, you gain space and time from the opponent. Obviously, it's hard to control in football because the shoes, they are different, the ground is different. But when the technique is there from young, you can control yourself more in football. I always say that the futsal, for example, you can compare futsal and football in the academies, no? In futsal, if you put one player to train futsal, they will touch the ball maybe 50 times in few minutes. In football, sometimes no.
Sometimes you can go the whole hour.
If you split them to play one game in futsal and one game in football and in real ground, maybe football, the kids, they touch the ball 3 or 4 times in 20 minutes. Depends of the position that they play. And in futsal, you are constantly touching the ball. So that's why I say that the futsal help you a lot the develop of the game, because when you touch a lot in the ball, this means that your technique is constantly working, no? So like this, you learn how to deal with spaces, short space, long space, how to deal in the position, how to make 1-2 fast, how to decision fast. As you said in the beginning, sometimes I looking like I have 3 views. No, you said
yes.
Because when I was young, I work a lot this in my technique. No, because I had this technique, so I work on it. So I used to play futsal from 8 years old until 14 years old, only futsal. Then when I come to the football, I was with my views, with everything clear, because football you have
such a big space.
So I use my technique on football, but I used to love futsal. So I wanted to make my career as a futsal. And when I had the opportunity to come abroad, I chose to play futsal. But I used to play professional football. And from there, I use my technical futsal and football. So that's why I say that futsal is very, very important to develop the game for the kids. When they decide to play football, they are more clear what to do on the pitch.
So some of the key differences, obviously, within the game itself in terms of rules. First of all, is the surface. The game isn't played on turf. It's not played on grass. It's played on an indoor court. Usually the courts are made of wood, similar to a basketball court, right?
Yes.
In Malta, there's a few strange terrains. I think the prison pitch is one of the more different pitches. It's not wood. It's a different type of surface. Yes. And that, you feel it. It feels different. Yes. I always remember when we'd train, anytime we trained on the prison, I would be crap, awful. Anytime we trained at NSS on the wood, I felt good. I felt comfortable. It felt faster. It felt like I had more control over the ball. And the space is a bit bigger as well. Obviously, the court size can vary a lot. Sometimes you play on small courts. Other times the courts can be quite big. I know the university pitch, for example, is much bigger. We played one match there and I felt so much more comfortable having just that extra few yards of space around me. It allowed me to make my movements a bit sharper and create more space for the team. But one of the rules that really threw me was the goalkeeper. So why don't you explain the rule about the goalkeeper and how his involvement is limited?
The rule of goalkeeper is has been changed a lot, no? Because the people from federation they like to improvise things from the game, futsal game. But the most important involvement of the goalkeeper is superiority, sometimes the coach, or a lot of time the coach, they use goalkeeper, flying keeper,
Yes.
just for when you are losing, when you need superiority in the end of the game, to try one good action to try to draw or win the game. But most of coach will use it as well to have possession, in case you are winning and you don't want to rush the game, you put a fly keeper to control the game. Now it's a risk because your real goalkeeper is not on the post. It's a player who changed with the goalkeeper, so he put the t-shirt off with goalkeeper. But it's a risk that you had in attack and also when you use it in possession game.
I remember the first time I saw it, I saw one of the outfield players on the sideline taking off his shirt, putting on the goalkeeper's shirt. And I'm looking at it thinking, what's going on here? Like, what are they doing? And then I saw him join in the attack and it was playing as a 5-4. Mm-hmm. And suddenly you understand, it's like, wow, there's such a technical and like tactical aspect to this game that just like that, the game completely changes in momentum, because if the team's good at it, they can keep the ball for a good 2 or 3 minutes, just moving the ball side to side, waiting. And like you said, if you're trying to draw the game or win the game, just like that, the game can change because you have that extra player on the field, which makes such a big difference. But obviously it goes the other way when you make a mistake. I've seen a few times teams will bring the goalkeeper out and they haven't maybe trained it well enough and they make a mistake and suddenly you have an open goal to shoot at. So it can be detrimental. But even the goalkeeper, when he's in the post, he's only allowed to join in the possession once, correct? He has the ball. If he passes to someone, they're not allowed to give it back to the goalkeeper, unless he steps into the opposite half and creates.
Unless if the opponent touches the ball.
And I remember that took me a month to learn. I kept making the mistake of forgetting and just passing it back to everyone. No! And I was like, why can't I? And then I realized it was the rule. I was like, oh shit, sorry.
Sometimes you are playing normal and you forget. No?
How many times the keepers touch the ball? Sometimes
the ball, maybe you being in 1 minute possession game and you forget that you start with the goalkeeper and you pass the ball back to him.
I've seen sometimes even the referee forgets.
Yes.
A team has the ball for 3 or 4 minutes and the referee even forgets that, the goalkeeper's already touched it. But I think they're the kind of main differences, would you say, between football and futsal. It's just the smaller space, the more kind of tactical. It's more like, I like to think of it like basketball in terms of the way a player carries the ball out from the back, and there's often a lot of set plays that are designed to create space and make the opposition move out, because a lot of the time one team will defend quite tightly and sit in front of the goal, and you have to try to, if you're a more confident team, bring them out and create those spaces in between. So there's a lot of different set plays and routines that are used with all the players involved to move people out of space.
In fact, for example, Manchester City, I see some games, I watch some games, and I see from Pep Guardiola, he used a lot of things from futsal. How to come out, how to bring the team when they pressure, how to connect between triangle, how to connect with lines, with zone position. I see a lot how to deal with 1v1 situation. So coach from the new generation, they are using a lot of things from futsal. The problem is that some old coach or some old people that they follow football, they don't want to accept that futsal can help football. So they stuck it, no? They don't let their players to learn more, because maybe the clubs, they are afraid, I don't know, to lose players from futsal, I don't know. But I think if they start working together, I think this should be a great development.
I think especially here in Malta, where you look at the professional level, the homegrown players, there is a distinct lack of technical ability on the ball. You do see a lot of the players don't have that fundamental control over the ball. They don't have the fundamental techniques of passing the ball. It's all very much raw technique that they've not really been polished at a young age. And like you said, futsal is that environment where you will touch the ball so many times. People often say you need 10,000 hours in a technique to perfect it. And in futsal, you could cut that down because the amount of touches you get within an hour, like you said, is like 10, 20 times the amount of touches you would get in a normal football practice. So you'd cut down the time that players need to perfect their skills in such a short amount of time. And then you'd have players from the competitive youth ages, all with a solid technical foundation. So I do think a country like Malta would really, really benefit, where they don't maybe have the facilities to accommodate as many football players and as many football teams. That indoor facility would really open up opportunity for players to get so confident on the ball and understand how to play with the ball in a small, tight space.
For example, I am coaching here in Malta in futsal, no? and I used to coach in Luxol as well in 11 inside. No? I see, for example, there is a lot of talent in Malta, a lot of talent, a lot. And if they start working with futsal and football in the meantime, for example, they should be very, very great players in the future. And what I see, for example, some players, they know how to pass the ball, they know how to control, they know how to... But when it's really a game, they don't learn it in football, for example. I used to coach one group in Luxol, in the Academy of Luxol, that I had to change a coach because he had to do something, and I changed him to make one training session. And I prepare a session like passing, they are very good. Yeah. Like control the ball, good. Finish the action, very good. So I prepared a session, and I saw that the group, they were very, very good. But in the end, in the last 20 minutes that we put a really game, you know, I make two teams, and then I put the ball in the middle, start play. So when they start to play, completely different.
Chaos, yeah.
And it was a chaos because they know how to pass, they know how to shoot good, they know how to control the ball good, but how to deal with the game, for example, 1-2,
exactly,
one parallel, or control the ball and have patience when the defense come.
Exactly.
So they was completely lost, and I was in panic because how those players, they can have all the technique, but when the game is coming, they don't know how to play.
I see it so much as well with the individual coaching I do. Some players, they arrive, and for their age group, I'm just like, wow, like technically you are amazing. I've got this 9-year-old. He's the best 9-year-old I've ever seen. But there's so many players in Malta that have that technical skill, and they have that mind. They love football. They absolutely love football. But once they get to the adult level, they just fade out because they don't have the opportunity to keep improving. Once they hit the ceiling for their age, I think the Maltese FA need to come up with a new strategy on how to keep elevating players, because they get to a certain level and there isn't the room, the accommodation, the facilities for them to keep improving. And then whereas you would see the same player in England would carry on improving up to here, the player in Malta might be at the same level at 9, 10, 11 years old. By the time he hits 18, the English player's here, but the Maltese players stayed. They don't carry on progressing. And I think, like you said, it's that match understanding. I try to incorporate all of my training sessions when I'm doing individual practice to be around match-specific scenarios. Okay, in a game, you're going to have pressure in this situation. This is how you deal with it.
That's what I think some personal coaches, they don't do it. It's like a real situation of the game.
Exactly.
Because if I come to train with you and I'm your coach, and I tell you in 3 sessions, for example, pass the ball and control, you will do this. But in the real game, how I can control the ball when one opponent come to pressure me.
Exactly.
How I can deal with to escape the defense, for example. I know how to control. But how I can control, I have the confidence to pass and receive in front. How I have the confidence to receive the ball. If the opponent come, I'm quiet. I don't need to rush because I already train on situation that I can play fast, so I can control the game because I have to. So this, I think, the futsal help a lot.
Yes.
A lot because all the time you are under pressure because all the time if you lost the ball is in front of your goalkeeper. So you can receive a goal or you can score a goal.
Exactly.
So your responsibility in the game is huge. So you can also create an opportunity to score or also you can receive a goal. So all the time your views, your attention, there has to be in 200% touching the ball and the responsibility of the game and how to deal with pressure. So that's why I say that futsal is very, very important. We play futsal. I'm professional futsal from 20 years, I think 17 years playing abroad. No? So in Brazil, I used to play more. And I see that in Brazil, we use this a lot. For example, in academy, from Santos is the most, Flamengo, Palmeiras, Corinthians, when they find a good player with 12 years old, the first thing that they do, go for futsal session. Yeah. Futsal session. You go there, you have 3 sessions, futsal and 2 in football. When you are 15, because you are already done, as not as a football, because they already saw that you are a good player, but you are done with the mentality adults, no?
Exactly.
So from there, futsal less, football more, because you pass around 3-4 years touching the ball, learning technique, learning how to dribble. So like this we work in Brazil. Me, for example, as I told you in the beginning, I played futsal from 8 years old until 14, something like that. And when I became for football, I didn't stop playing futsal. Mm-hmm. But then when I was 16 years old, I had to choose because I signed my first professional contract with football, not with futsal, because in my city I was playing amateur. And from there I stopped futsal, but I was already with my technical futsal there. But then my choice it was to play futsal professional. It was my dream from the young, no? And then I chose to play futsal. But from 8 years old until 14, 15, futsal.
I know in England, until maybe 5-10 years ago, futsal didn't really even exist. Like,
they had last 5 years, they had one very strong team. And I think they had a fight between federation and they stopped. They don't have futsal anymore.
Because growing up, I'd never heard of it. It's never introduced to us as a kid. We used to play indoor football, but it was football and it was just played in like a gym. Like they didn't introduce it as futsal. They don't teach you the techniques of futsal. And I remember the first futsal game I ever watched was, I think it was Luxol and Sweetie. The first game of the season this year.
Yes.
And I remember watching it. And it was at that moment I understood like, okay, this is how exciting the game is. Because I never really got the idea of it. I was like, well, growing up, obviously football. Again, you are in that mindset of, there's nothing that compares. But the game is exciting.
Yes.
And it's much more exciting than football because of how small-sided it is. It's like a basketball game. There's always an action happening. It's not 4 or 5 minutes of boring possession at the back waiting to try and find an attack on the other side of the field. It's you feel the sweat flying off into the stands during the game because it's such a hot atmosphere. The game is so lightning fast and it's very, very exciting. So I do recommend anyone that hasn't looked into futsal, watch a game, watch a high level futsal match, and you will understand the passion, the excitement, and how tactical it is. It is like a game of chess with 5 pieces, everyone constantly trying to move each other out of the way. So we've just kind of finished talking about the differences between the two sports, but Celino, let's take it back to when you were a young boy growing up in Brazil. Talk me through, you said you started playing futsal at 8 years old.
Yeah.
Had you started playing football younger than that, or was that the first time that you had the ball at your feet?
Yes, as I told you before, I started playing futsal with 8 years old with an academy in my state, in Brazil. Honestly, in that time, it was very hard for us to play as a football. No, in that time, I'm talking about 20 something years old before. And I used to play a lot in the street as well with my friends, and this also helped with the technique as well.
I miss street football. Yeah. I used to love street football.
In fact, when I go holiday in Brazil, I still playing with my friends there because it's something exciting, and sometimes we call a Champions League street game.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, because it's very competitive. No one want to lose. And after futsal, I started playing football with 15 years old, something like this. And I was very, very good football player because I was one of the promised players from my city to go to play in big club. But I chose to play futsal when I had the first opportunity to come abroad to Europe. I chose to play futsal. And I signed my first professional contract with football, with a club in my state, a national football club. And from there I started my career, and then I had to stop because I want to play futsal.
So which club was it that you signed with as a professional footballer in Brazil?
The name is National Football Club. And futsal I play with, I will say in Portuguese, ABC, from my city, Manaus. I had a great history there. And from there, I went abroad. I have a good history about how I came abroad.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
So before we get on to how you came across to Europe, I just wanted to dabble a little bit into your youth career. So you're playing futsal from 8 to 14, you said?
14, 15, something like this.
What sort of level were you playing at? Were you playing in the top league back in Brazil for futsal?
Because Brazil is too big, no? And
there's a lot of regional leagues,
yes,
right?
Regional league. So I used to play regional league. But with 8 years old, no, I used to play just in academy, no?
Okay.
So in that time, we was not compete with no one, for example, like federation. I started compete with federation with 13, 14 years old futsal.
What age was it that in your head you realized that obviously you had the ability you had and you had the chance to really go and play at the highest level?
When I was 10, 11 years old, yes, because in my place where I born, there was a league, amateur league, not futsal. It was like 7-a-side, but with not synthetic, like grass, like sand,
Sand,
something like that. And my brother, he had a team, and the league, it was under 15, but I had 11-year-old, and I want to play. And he put me to play one game, and I was very good. But the players, they are bigger than me because they're 4 years old. And from that, they want to kick me. And my brother told me, no, I have to protect you and you will not play anymore. So I was sad, but from there, he told me, you have a very, very good talent and for sure, and you will manage to follow your dream. From there, I realized that I could work myself to do something, but I never imagined that I was going to reach what I reached.
So you turned at 15 years old to football. What was it that made you change from futsal to football in the first place?
To be honest, I didn't feel too much too much different, no? Because as I said, in Brazil we play futsal, but the focus is you play futsal, but you go there and you play football. You go there and you play something. And then when I come to football, I start to realize that it was better for me, because with the big space, everything for me was clear. Everything for me was something that moment easy. And I started playing very good, and I keep going. And from there, the club gave me the opportunity to sign a professional contract.
And what age were you when you signed the professional contract?
I was 16 years old when I signed my first contract.
So when you signed that contract, did you have in your head that you were going to follow the path all the way through to carry on playing professional football?
In that moment, yes, because the club, they start working a lot on me, on myself, because I was very slim player.
Yes.
And they start to make me special work to gain muscle and to the future to sell me for some clubs. But I was with futsal in my blood, and all the time when there was opportunity for me to play futsal, I was always playing. But I played like Serie C in Brazil.
Yeah.
Like I played, before I came to Spain, I played the Brazilian League, the main Brazilian League. I played Brazilian Cup as well, professional football. But from there, I started to decide what I want. I was with 19 years old, and my dream it was always to play futsal.
So how did the opportunity then come up to switch? So you're in the middle of your professional contract playing football. At what opportunity did the opportunity come to like then change over to futsal?
Yeah, yes. It was, I am a guy that I have a lot of faith, and I believe that everything what God does is for something, no? When I signed my first professional contract, as I told you, I wasn't with futsal in my blood. And all the time when I had opportunity, I go to play futsal, even having a professional contract, because I was not allowed to play futsal, but all the time when I had opportunity, I played. And in my city, there was that moment, very important and famous tournament from the TV. It was one TV that they had one in June and July. They had one cup of futsal, and it was very big in my state. And there it had a very big club, like they bring the best players from the state. And the 3 players who was playing in Spain, they were from my city.
Okay.
And when they come holiday, like June, they come to join this team to play. And I was playing with this team.
Okay.
And one of the guy of Spain, he has to leave because he has just 20 days holiday, and he has to go to. And another one, the others 2, they keep on the team to play. And one of them, he liked me how to play. And he told me like this, hey, how old are you? And I told him, I am 16 years old. And he told me, it's impossible because you look like old. It's impossible because it's impossible. The way how you play, you have not 16 years old.
Mature
yes,
player.
Mature player. Yeah. And no, I am 16. I can show you my document. And he told me, because I thought you had minimum 19 or 20 years old. Yeah. Because with 16 years old, I cannot bring you with me to Spain because it's a big deal to take one young 16 years old to another country, especially in Europe. I have to prove a lot of things why I am taking you there with 16 years old. But if you become 18, 19, if you continue like this, how you are, I will take the opportunity to bring you.
So just from that small interaction you had in a tournament with a player that had played abroad, you maintained that friendship for 2-3 years or no?
No, nothing, because in that time we didn't have like WhatsApp like now, Facebook, Instagram. So you to keep contact with someone is by email, you understand? But I didn't know what was gonna happen. I just put in my mind, I have to work to achieve what I want. I don't care if he's there where he told me. Maybe he told me just to say, to make me happy.
But now you have that idea in your head of, oh, okay, someone who is playing in Europe at a high level in futsal has told me I have the ability to do the same. Now you have that fire.
And from there I work. I take, because I'm a guy like a family,
Yeah.
So I stay with my family and I work with futsal, but football, it doesn't matter. And when I become 19 years old, I was very formed player already. I was playing in the high level football in Brazil, playing a Serie C of Brazilian league with a big club in my city. And I was very already formed. And he come with 19 years old.
Yeah.
He sent me a message. Listen, now you are 19 years old and I see that from 16 to 19 you behave very good and you are a great level, so I will bring you with me if you want.
Yes.
And then from there I spoke with my club because I had professional content. Exactly. I told them, look, my dream is to play futsal in Spain. And I had now the opportunity to go, and can you release my contract and I don't need to pay nothing because I don't have condition to pay. They told me, no. Go. You can go because it's your dream. And
oh, really? They allowed you? Yes. See, that's very, very good from them because there are a lot of clubs that would have turned around and said no.
It was a surprise for me because the clubs, they want to earn money, no? And I was in that moment, I was 19 years old and I was very big player in my city, no? So, and they told me, no, it's your dream and we are very happy to have you in our club. So you can go. And they told me, okay, you can.
Do you still have any sort of relationship with that club now?
Yes. In fact, when I go to Brazil to pass my holiday, I always go there to visit them. Obviously, after 17 years, because this was 2007 when I leave.
I imagine lots of committee members.
So they changed a lot. One of them died. It was my main coach. Carlos Prata, his name, he died 3 years ago with the pandemic. But I still have contact with some of them because changed a lot. The committee, the club, they are not now in high level. Yeah. They lost a lot of commitment. But I still have contact with some.
I think there's definitely a lot of respect you must have for the club for allowing you to go seamlessly to have that opportunity. I know many teams would have made it much more difficult and tried to ask for money or tried to convince you to stay.
Yes.
And it's, I love...
And for them, it was a big loss, not only the post and the pitch, but also to earn money with me because there was 2 clubs asking for me to buy my transfer, to pay my transfer. And I was in huge debate if they were allowing me to go, but they say no. If it's your dream, it's what you want, so you can go.
So at that point, was it just a case of pack your bags and go straight to Spain, or was there any time in between that you had to arrange things like visas or anything like that?
No, it was hard about visa. It was a big history about visa because when I contacted them that I was going to leave the club, it was in end of June because it was open the windows here to futsal and the club from Spain, they sent me the contract, they sent me everything to apply for the visa. And because I had to be here in Europe in beginning of August to start the pre-season. But my visa there take long. So because from my city, Manaus, I have to apply from the consul, Spanish consul, but they had to send to the capital of Brasilia. And from there, they take the decision to bring it back to Manaus. And from Manaus, and then I wait about 3 months.
3 months, wow.
And it was everything coming dark because the club from here, they start to say, we cannot wait you too much. Yeah. Because we have to sign a player to change you. Yeah. And they say, I said, but I applied for the document, I'm waiting. They say, okay, so we will, as the window close, we will waiting for you. But don't take long because it was already October.
Yes.
And from there, I was not expecting anymore the visa come, to be honest, because but God make everything happen the same in the right moment. I received the visa 3 or 4 days before my birthday.
Yes.
And
early birthday present.
And my flight, the club paid my flight and the day of my birthday.
Wow, they paid the flight as well.
Yes.
That's amazing.
The club from Spain.
Oh, okay, the club from Spain.
Not from Brazil.
Okay.
The club that I was going to join in Spain.
So they arranged everything.
They arranged to go, and it was a double feeling because I was very happy because my dream was coming on, but I was very sad because I was
closing the chapter on Brazil
and
at the time.
My family and everything. So it was a big emotion in that moment because I remember that at the first time in that moment I passed my birthday alone.
Yes.
In the airport, because I arrived in the airport at 6 a.m. in São Paulo, and my flight to go to Madrid from São Paulo, Madrid, I was leaving only 8 in the evening.
Jesus.
So I had to wait all day in the airport because that moment is not like now. Like now you have WhatsApp, you have a contact, you say you go to the hotel, you go something. That time to find something in internet, it was very hard. And I passed my birthday alone inside the airport. That's why I say it was a double feeling.
It's a tough experience as well.
Yes.
What, you're 19 years old or 20? Would you have turned 20?
Yes, I to 19 to 20.
So that's an age where you want to have your friends, your family around you. So to do that all of
And I remember because to call my mom, I had to buy one card to put inside the cabin.
Payphone.
And it was like by minute. So it was expensive, the card.
Yeah.
And I called my mom because my mom wanted to wish me a happy birthday. And she started to cry, calling me to go back because she was
missing you,
paying me a flight to go back to Manaus. And she didn't have condition to do this, but by emotion, she said, come back. You don't need to go there. You have a good life here with us. Yeah. I remember until today, that moment. And until now, my mom, when I call her, when we enter in that conversation, she tell me like this, you told me that your contract, it was just for 3 years. And you are 17. You're still 17 there. So I'm still waiting these 3 years because in that moment, because my mom is very humble. She's from one small village in Brazil. She's very humble lady, but she don't understand some things. And in that moment, I told her, Mom, my contract is for 3 years, the clubs. But she understood that
there's 3 years.
3 years, and I go back and there don't exist anymore, no? So she keep with this until today. If I call my mom, if we start talking about that situation, she will say, I still waiting this 3 years contract finish. And you are coming for 70 years.
The day you move back, it's going to be the longest 3 years ever.
Yes. But it was nice. I still this happened 17 years ago, but for me, something like it was last year.
Yeah.
I still with everything in my memory, to be honest.
So tell me about the first kind of week when you arrive in Spain.
It was hard.
Yeah?
Hard. Because it was everything new, So I realized that I was in a dream. So I couldn't believe that I was in a dream. I remember that the first day I arrive in the morning. We have a session in the evening, and the coach and the staff, they told me, you don't need to come for train because you are tired. And I know I am 20 years old. I can train, no problem. But they told me today will be physical training. I say no, I can come, no problem.
Yeah.
And then the physical training we was going to run. I don't know I forget now the kilometers that we were going to run outside.
Yeah.
It was 0 the degree. It was 0. And I never take this cold in my life in that moment because my city, Manaus, there is not winter. It's just summer all year summer is 35 and 40. And then I start to breathe and coming out colder, I would say.
The cold air, the compensation.
And I always say, I was like, I don't smoke. Yeah. How is coming out from my mouth, no? So I start, when no one always look at me, and I was alone. It was something like a dream, no? Because in those situations, I just watching TV. Like when come Christmas in Brazil, show a lot of moves from Christmas in TV. And I'm here, I'm really here. So to call my mom, it was very hard because in that moment, as I told you, not WhatsApp, camera, nothing. So I had to go down with the cold jacket, everything, to put coins in the cabin.
The payphones,
and to call not my mom, because in my house there was not a phone.
House phone,
So I had to call a house of a friend to tell my mom to go in the cabin, but my mom used to work. The time different, 6 hours different. So it was hard, to be honest. It was very hard for me. But as I was in a dream, I was pushing forward. But there was a moment when I come 2 months, I said, no, I will go back. Because I was missing a lot. My mom, my brothers, my wife. Now she was my girlfriend, but now she's my wife. In that moment, she was my girlfriend. I was missing everyone. And I was like, I'm in my dream, but after 2 months, my family is the most important.
You don't have that safety net.
Yes.
The family is always the safety net of you're having a bad day, you go back to your family.
Yes.
And they can shield you from the bad feelings.
In Brazil, for example, in my city, I used to play professional, like I told you, the same pressure, like in Spain or in Brazil. But after training, if you have a bad day, there was my mom there. There was my brother. So you start talking. And from there, after 2 months, I realized they are not here with me. So I want to go back. And that guy that he bring me to Spain, he had one very big conversation with me, and he showed me that it was wrong decision. And then from there, I decided to stay, and I am in Europe until now.
I think people underestimate the impact of not just changing country, but you're changing continent at the age of 19, 20 years old. You're in the age where you've built up such a big base of friends, family back in your own country, then to leave all of it behind. How long did it take you to make friends in Spain? Like if you're there, let's say the first 2 weeks and you haven't made friends yet, there's no one that speaks your language. You feel it. You feel it so much more because you're at that young age where you need people around you to guide you. You need that warm feeling to shield you, like you said. And experiencing all this new stuff for the first time by yourself, it's a very, very underestimated.
And also the for example, a part of what we are talking about, missing family, missing my place in Brazil, it was about the game. Because in Brazil, I used to play futsal. For example, everything for me, it was like 1v1 situation. And in Spain, it was totally different. I came and I found players that I start to say, what is this, no? They are very good. Technical and tactical. And I had to learn from zero from that. Because the futsal in Brazil that I used to play compared to Spain, it was completely different.
What were the main differences? Obviously, you said Brazil is more 1v1.
For example, in Brazil, if I used to take a ball in the pitch, I dribble 3-4 players and I score, for example. In Spain, it's impossible to do this. Because if you manage to dribble one, now I understand because I played there. If I manage to dribble one, there is a second one to make cover. And the second one to make cover is more strong than the first one. Because the first one, they don't go to catch you the ball. They go to make you make a mistake. The second one who will take the ball. So there is a lot of difference between games, and I had to learn a lot. And from there, when I learned, join with my technique, it was a great thing.
I think it's so beneficial to experience different cultures and styles of the game. I remember my journey, I went from England playing in England football, but then when I went to United States of America, I learned kind of soccer over there, and it was just completely different. But the experience you get from playing a different style, it only makes you more complete as a player. So for someone like you to be in that 1v1 environment where you know you have the ability to skip players, to then go and learn the more tactical team-based futsal, suddenly you become a more complete player, because you have what the team-based players don't have, because you do have the ability to skip a player when you need to, but then you also can learn and do it all with the team and play the team-based game. And when you need that little spark of creativity, I think that's probably what's helped you a lot here in Malta, is when you need to, you can just beat a player. I've seen you put the ball through people's legs for fun. There's that one clip, you double nutmeg the player, you nutmeg him and then go back and nutmeg him again. So you have that ability to just turn it on when you need to. Otherwise, you know how to keep the ball, keep possession, know when to create the team attacks. And it's very, very good. So let's talk a little bit about how the first season went. Obviously, after 2 months, you're starting to get a bit of cold feet. You're questioning your decision and whether to go back home or not. What was it that ultimately made you stay, and how did the first year go?
The first year in Spain, it was for me a very, very, how can I say, difficult experience in my life. Because first of all, when I arrived, as I told you, about technique, about the game, how to learn the game, and also the idiom, how to speak. Because when you come from Brazil, people say that Brazil and Spanish language, they are the same. They are completely different.
Completely different.
Maybe some words, they are okay, similar, but how to speak is completely different. So I suffer a lot with this. But I had the luck that I have Brazilians in the club, and they help me. And with this first club, I didn't manage to learn the game as fast that the pressure of the club they was asking, because when I came, it was end of October, and the team, they were done to go promote for first division. They are from second division, and the team was not good in the table. And when I came, it start to come the pressure as well. So come a new player, so the new player has to be the difference of the
Exactly, club. You're being brought in to be the difference maker.
And I was not ready for this. And in January, the club decided to change the coach, who was helping me to get the game. And the new coach, when he came, he told me direct, because I trained 2 weeks with him, and he told me, unfortunately, I came here by pressure. He told me, you are a very good player, great talent with 20 years old, but I don't have time to keep you with me under pressure. So the club give me open door to do what I want with transfer. So as you have a contract, I will allow you for another club for you to have opportunity to play
and develop
yourself, because with me, I need the result.
Exactly.
He told me. And I will bring 5-6 players from my confidence that I need, and I will release 6 players from here. And I will not release you because you have a contract, but you have a future as well. And I had to go to play with another club. From there, I developed very good, because what I learned with that code that he leave, I use in the other team with no pressure. No?
With the team that you got loaned to, was it the same level or
same level, second division? I was in Asturias in Spain, and I changed to Tenerife in Canarias. And from Tenerife in Canarias, when I was in my best shape, I get a very big injury.
Yes.
I open my muscle, and I had to stop for 2 months. It was the end of the season. And from there, I keep just concentrating recovery. And then I went to Brazil holiday, but from my second year, I fly, because I signed for one club, and we promote the division we are the champion. So all Spain had eyes on me.
Yeah.
And I have very big offers to change the club, to pay my clausula, but I decide to keep in the same team for the third season. But then the thing not start well with payment and those things, and I changed club with. In that moment, it was one of the biggest transfer in second division. In second division league, because they pay in that time 2009 and 10. It was €6,000. In that time, it was a very big money at that time to change club. And then I changed, and from there I start to be in very good stage, in Spain.
So going back to your time in Tenerife, I know Tenerife for English people is a big popular tourist destination. What was the lifestyle like in Tenerife?
It was as I told you, my first season in Spain. It was a very hard season in adaptation. No? It was the Iceland is very nice. It's very, very nice, but I couldn't enjoy too much.
I was going to say, is it difficult trying to stop yourself from feeling the pressure to go out and enjoy yourself?
Yes, because I, for example, I live in Ibiza 2 years.
Yes.
In Ibiza, in Spain. I played 2 seasons there. And most of the people, they ask me, Mama, Ibiza is crazy, for party and those things. But I don't like party. So most of my time, it was or training or home.
Yeah.
Or training or home.
So again, it kind of goes back to your mature mindset towards football and futsal, that you're a professional athlete, you're not going to be distracted.
Yes, my focus is only what I'm doing, So if my focus is something, I always think about that, you understand? So in Spain, it was in Tenerife, I didn't have too many opportunities to enjoy the island, because I was new. My first year, don't speak Spanish very good. So you don't know no one, because it's a new city. When I was adapting from when I came to Spain, I had to change city. And it was a big difference, because when I used to live in Spain, in Asturias, it was very cold. In Tenerife, it's like Malta.
Yeah.
It's cold, but you see the sun.
It's nice. It's nice weather, yeah. And
I live just one street behind the beach.
Yeah.
It was so for me in that moment, it was very interesting thing. It was the beach.
Exactly.
And I try to focus in to play futsal and to enjoy a bit the beach, But obviously, it is hard to enter in the water and do something.
Because I've seen many young men get an opportunity to play in let's say a party-centric location, and the lifestyle sucks them in, and suddenly their focus changes from football, and they get enthralled by the fast-paced party all night, drinking, girls, and suddenly you see it affect their football. So honestly, it's a big commendament to your attitude to be able to have that tunnel vision.
I remember in my second season in Ibiza, my club, he was sponsored by one very big club in Ibiza. It was Space, the name of the Space. And all opening season, summer season, they in Ibiza, I think in Malta as well, they do one very big party to open discotheque club, And this discotheque club, they sponsorize. They are one of the big, Dane and Pacha, something like this. And they give us invitation, like a VIP invitation in the club. So that's a big club. And I remember that time when I received the invitation, my friends, because we live together, they were very happy. Mama, we go to space. It's very big.
Yeah.
They will come invitation, people from USA, from Hollywood, actors.
Yes.
Paris Hilton, something like that. The blonde. And I listened and talking about that. Now we go, we enjoy, we can drink free because in VIP, blah, blah. And with my invitation, I said, what I do with this? And then I told them like this, you know someone who want to go? Mm-hmm. They say, why? Instead of me, because I don't go. And they get crazy. What? You don't come with us? I say, no, I don't come. Are you crazy? It's a opening season. You don't know what this means. I say, I don't care what this means, but I don't like party. I come here to play professional, to train. I know that this I can do because it's out of my time of professional. I can do that. Even the club are give us invitation. Exactly. I know it's not something that I want to tell you that you are wrong and I'm right. It's not about that. It's about that I will go there and I will not enjoy.
Exactly. I'm just not interested.
So but this is too expensive. We can sell it. I say, I don't care. Take it. And I give today my invitation because it's something that I don't like, for example, party,
I'll be honest,
drinks.
I'm not a club person. I rarely drink. I like to go out and have fun, but clubbing, I don't like it. The loud music and the big crowd of people, it's not my thing. I like talking. I like being able to...
If someone tell me like this, Celino, you want to go in a big club or you want to go for a coffee with someone that you like. I prefer to go in the coffee. Yeah. I sit there in the point. I stay there with my cappuccino.
Exactly.
And for me, I'm the most happy guy in life.
All I need is good conversation. I don't need the loud music, the flashing lights.
I don't like it.
It's not for me.
Mm-hmm. Even it's not for me as well. But I to be honest, in my time in that moment in Spain, it was very good because I grew up as a player, as you told me before. My style of a game changed a lot because I became a complete player. I use this in Malta, for example. I am 10 years in Malta playing. We go there we still go to speak with Malta. But in every season, I have the quality to change my style to play.
Yep.
Because if I keep playing the same way, Malta is small. So everyone know me.
Yeah.
So they will learn how to defend me, how to read my game. So in every season, I back up with myself. I see videos from myself. I see videos from opponent because usually the team, they don't change too much.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's not like in Spain, for example, there is many clubs and when something is not good, they start to bring players here, they change. So everything is new. Even coach style, they are new. Here, no. Here...
there's very small selection.
Yes. So
there's 4 teams in the league really now that are competitive.
I stop with the season, I breathe a bit, I enjoy a bit, but then I see for next season I have to change some. So I start to analyze some things from myself. And I have the quality to adapt this. Yeah. For example, I have the quality to dribble 1v1, but why I need to use this if I can help my teammate to score?
Exactly.
You understand? So I will not tell you too much advice, but
you have the ability to keep changing things.
Keep changing my style.
The opponent guessing what's coming
and
next.
From there I always renew myself, From that moment in Spain that I learned, because not all the time is individual. The team environment is more important. Yeah. So use what you have for the help of the team.
So you said you spent 3 years with one team and then obviously payments started to become an issue and that's what caused you to move to another team in Spain.
Yes, in that time in Spain, it was one of the biggest issue that had in that time. I don't know now how it is. People say that changed. Now they paying in good, but most of the team that I played, it was always problem with salary. For example, they promise you pay something and they don't pay. They delay 2 months to pay 1 month, and it was a big deal too.
So as a young player, when you're in that situation, obviously you're pursuing your dream, but you're not really being paid on time. You're probably struggling to manage your finances if they're not paying on time.
As I told you, as I was in a dream, So I used to not affect my focus. So I was not think too much about that. But obviously there is a point that you start saying, what is this? No?
Exactly.
If I don't receive for my work, no? You are professional, you are on time, you do everything for the club, you do blah, 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 but not come back the same way, you know?
How do you handle that? Do you just carry on business as usual, or are you having arguments and discussions with the club behind the scenes, but continuing to play?
Usually the clubs, for example, when the club that I play, you know, they never had you without nothing. For example, you are 3 months without receive the full salary, but they come and they give you something, no? Then they discount the salary. So that's not. You see that some clubs. I play in some club, especially in Ibiza. I saw that they was not doing in the bad way. It was like before it was a bad situation in Spain, and the sponsor was not giving them what they promised. So it was not from the club; it was from some sponsor, no?
Yeah.
And now you can understand the situation and you go, but at the moment you feel, I have to change club. Then I start changing club because of that. In fact, to come to Spain, it was to Malta, it was because of one situation like that.
Okay. So what was the move for you after the third year with the club, and you said they stopped paying on time and you were having money disputes? What was the next move for you? What team were you at that time, and where did you go next?
Because I played 2 years in Ibiza, and then I had to change because of non-payment. And I went to Zamora.
Yep.
And there Zamora, they behave very good with me, with my family as well. I had a very good season there. Honestly, when I came to Luxol, I stayed 10 days there, like a holiday. And the president told me, you come here, holiday, but you will stay here again. I said, no. I give my word to Luxol, and everything is done there. I will not stay here. I just come here to see some friends, to see the club, and that's it. And the president from that told me, no, tell me what looks as expensive spent with you, with your family. I will give them back and you stay here. You don't move from here. I said, no. I go to Luxol because words is more important than
I think pencil. It's important to keep your word as an individual.
And because that time I had nothing signed with Luxol. Yeah. But I had verbal the conversation and I said, I go to Luxol because I played with Hibernians before to go to Luxol. And then this club in Spain want to keep me in there. I said, no. I go to Malta and I will keep my promise there.
So how long in total did you spend in Spain before you came to Malta?
From 2007 until 2014, so 7 years. 7 years Spain.
So how did the opportunity come to jump from Spain to Malta, and what made you...
How was the opportunity?
Yeah, and what made you consider it? Because obviously not a lot of people would...
Yes.
Most people, you ask them and they don't even know where Malta is on the map. And then obviously to make such a big career jump from going from Spain, which I'd imagine is a very big setup, to...
When I came to Malta, I was playing in first division in Spain.
Yeah.
I was in my best shape. And playing in very, very high level, but you can't imagine. But the club there, they were 3 months without paying salary. And then when
this is in the first division of Spain.
Yes. And then when I signed the contract, we agreed that because in that year me and my wife, we married.
Yeah.
In Brazil. And she was not coming with me immediately because she had to stay in Brazil to change documents.
Yeah.
Because her name she was taking my surname.
Yes.
In the document. So she had to change in this, spend around 3 months to change, something like this. And we agreed that I go alone, but in October, maximum November, they will come with me, my daughter and my wife. And the club say, okay, everything is fine. But from the day one until November, they didn't pay any salary. As I told you before, they don't let you without nothing. So they give you here 500 euro, 700. It's not your full salary, no?
It's not enough.
And then when November, when everything was, my wife told me, look, everything is done, the document is done, our daughter documents, everything is done. So, and I told her, listen, I am like this. I don't want to
bring you over here.
Bring you like this.
Yes.
But you decide if you want to come. And she told me, no, wait a bit, because maybe it's not work is not to go like this. Me alone, I can survive, but with family, my daughter in that moment was 3 years old.
It's completely different when you need to provide.
But I was in very good shape, very, very good shape. And I had signed just 1 year of contract. And the president, he was president and coach. He loved me because I was very good professional, behavior very good. And in the pitch, I was giving his result. Obviously, club, they was not in a good result as a...
Yeah.
But me as individual, I was giving him a good result. And he wanted to renew my contract for 3 years. And to make me happy, he wanted by force to bring my wife and my daughter. Mm-hmm. I said, no. I have to wait until January because I live in with some players, with 4 players together. And the others player, they was talking about, no, in January I leave. I already spoke with my agent and I go because I don't stay here like this. And I started to listen this. And then when come in December, half of the important player of the team, they were already done with other clubs because the agent said that in January you leave, in January leave. And then for me, it was not good to stay there just to receive to lose a game.
Exactly.
And I told the president, listen, I want to go. And he told me, no, but I don't want to leave you go. I told him, but I am 3 months without receive salary. And he told me, no, but I'm giving you something. So if we make it count, you are not 3 months, you are less than 3 months. But the other players, they are going, no, but I have a project with you. I want to keep you with me more time. I say, but like this, I cannot. No, I bring your wife and your daughter when they are here, for sure, you will not have problem because I will not let you. I say, no, I cannot trust this and I cannot risk.
Not with the family.
And then some teams from Spain, from First Division, I had 2 offers to change the club in First Division. They contact me because they know that some players was leaving and they maybe think that I was leaving as well. And I told them, no, I need to speak with the club because they are behaving with me very good. Obviously, they are not paying, but I speak with the president and he told me, no, you not leave. Especially for a team that is competing against us. Mm-hmm. Because how I will speak with the sponsor that my best and one of my best players of the team is leaving from one team that is competing with us. Yeah. So how I cannot do that. I said, but I cannot stay.
Exactly.
And he told me like this, the only way for you to leave is to go abroad. From Spain, I don't give you a release for nothing, he told me. Don't even try. I will not give you the... I said, okay. But in that moment, I didn't have nothing abroad because all my life was in Spain.
Exactly.
And there was one guy, he used to help one Switzerland team in Champions League 1 year before. And he wanted to send to Hibernians one player that was playing with me. They were friends from Portugal. Yeah. And this player, he was already with his wife there, where I was in Gran Canaria, Las Palmas. And his wife is from Portugal. And his wife said, no, our kids in the school, we are okay, we are not receiving, but we can survive because I have condition. Then we stay here until the end of the season because I'll not take my son out from the school. And this, my friend told me, Celino, Linko don't want to go. You want to go send him to Malta? I say, to Malta? He told me, yes, because there is a club, because I help in UEFA Futsal at that time. One team from Switzerland, and I was in the same group, and they are from Hibernians club, and they are searching for a player like you. I wanted to take the other one because of friendship, but the style that they want is like you.
Yeah.
With 1v1 situation, blah, blah. And the salary is like this. It was a good salary in that moment. And also you take the opportunity just to go there to release this contract and you come back. He told me like this.
Yeah.
So my intention when I came to Malta, it was like just to stay for 5 months, just to escape this contract.
To break the contract so that
and
you
come back.
Yeah.
But I came for experience. I was in a high level. You can ask people from that time when I come. And I wasn't very good. And I impressed a lot of people in futsal in Malta. And we lost the league in penalties. Two games we lost in penalty for Balsan that time. And when I was talking with clubs in Spain, in that 5 months that I was in Malta, I liked Malta a lot because it was like Tenerife, it was like Ibiza. Even people, they treat me very, very well. Honestly, I received very good treatment here.
Yeah.
And then Luxol contacted me in that time with Joaquilina, Jose. They contact me. And I told my wife, listen, what do you think? We go to Malta again. I go back to Malta with family, everyone together, because Luxol promised me to bring my family together with me. And then we see if you like, we stay. If you don't like, in December we come. And I come with the condition like this to Luxol to play for 1 season. And
now at this point, were Luxol already established as the top team in Malta, or was this
not yet
the beginning of the project?
Yes, it was the beginning. I remember Joe told me like this, Celino, you are the key of the project. I want to grow up the club. I want to be in high level. But with this, I need a result. He told me. So I need to win the league. If we don't win the league, the progress is very hard to go.
Yeah.
So my focus was on win the league.
It's a lot of pressure to take on.
A lot in the day one. Maybe the other players, maybe they didn't have pressure, but me myself, I remember that time we used to train just twice a week, and I told Joe, I need more. I need to be in shape, and I start training with Luxol 11-a-side.
Yes.
To compensate the days. And when I stopped training with Luxol 11-a-side because they start to compete and they want me to compete with them, I played 2 games with 11-a-side.
Yes?
Yes, before I start futsal league. I played 2 games 11-a-side and Joe told me, no, stop, you play only futsal. And then I start every day, I was running in the road, in the street, every day.
Do you know what? I really struggle with running on the road here. I find it so dangerous.
Yes.
So you just finished pre-season with Luxol. You said you were training twice a week, but you needed extra time. You wanted to get yourself back to peak, like keep your peak physique, because training twice a week, you know, it's not enough.
Yeah, yes. It was a moment that I realized that I had to work myself double, no? Because all my life, I used to be professional. And that time, Luxol, the condition, was not a professional. But I faced the challenge like it was my first contract in my life. Then I promised Joe Aquilina that I was going to give my best. But I couldn't promise to give him the result because I was the only sign of the team.
Yeah.
But I was going to give my best to win the league. And then I worked hard, very hard, to be honest. So
you said you were the only signing for that season?
Yes.
So
we signed for two seasons, but the agreement, it was for 1 season. For example, if nothing worked well, and Joe tell me, listen, Celino, I have to...
Yeah.
So I okay. If it is my side, the same. If I come...
So it really was make or break. You have 1 year to help the team get to where it needs to be. Otherwise, project's done.
And then it worked very, very good because we win the league. You know, it was the first league that Luxol win in his history.
With the squad, though, so if you're the only signing they made that year, are you playing yourself with... Were there any other foreigners on the team, or was it just you?
It was foreigner. It was William Barbosa.
Okay.
He used to play before footballer in Malta with Valletta and other clubs. It was Florin, Romanian player, very good player as well, like William. And I think we three foreigners. In that time in the league, it was allowed to play 3 foreigners in the pitch.
3?
Yes.
Wow.
And then we had a good Maltese as well, but most of them stopped it already. And it was a good year. For me, it was one of the best years. Obviously, the last 5 years for me, generally, it was a great moment. But I cannot forget that my first season, it was the best feeling, because...
So what year would that have been, the first year that you spent with Luxol? What was the year?
2014?
2014-15.
14-15. And then we had a very good groups, but it was hard for me. I will tell you one history, because in professional level, so everyone have your duty,
Yeah.
So in Spain, I used to play before. I'm a good player, an individual good player, but I need to work. I need just to do my best.
Yeah.
I don't need to do my best for you, my best for this. Mm-hmm. I do mine, and my teammates know what to do.
Yeah.
And when I come to Lux, it was opposite, because in that moment we are not professional. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I come for training on Tuesday, it was just 6 players. I come for training on Thursday, for example, it was 4 players.
Yeah.
And for me, the challenge was even harder.
Yeah.
Because I had to accept this, you understand? Not to accept this because most of players, especially I'm 10 years in Malta, when I played against some foreigners, when they lost, the first excuse that they use is because Lux is professional.
Yeah.
And when I come to Luxol, I didn't want to give any excuse.
Yeah.
If I lost, because we lost. Mm-hmm. If we win, because we work to win. And some players, they especially foreigner, they like to use these skills for themselves, to protect themselves.
Yeah.
For example, I don't win the league because I train just twice a week. I can't win the league because Luxol have more money than me. I can't win the league because, so in that moment, Bausan was better than us.
Yeah.
In general, because they train every day, they had professional players.
Yeah.
They are, even the Maltese, they get paid in that moment. And Luxol, no. I remember I had to train with my physio as a pivot to compensate one team. My sport director, Jose, as a goalkeeper. You understand?
Yep.
And from there, I give my best to train. I don't, I go for the game. If we lost, it's because we don't have good training condition.
You don't allow yourself to make those excuses.
No, my focus was to win the league. Doesn't matter the way. And now we have a very good condition, but no one knows from when we come.
Exactly. It's very, very humble beginnings and hard work and sacrifice.
I am very happy because I passed all moments with this. So that's why every moment that I go inside the pitch with the Luxol t-shirt, I give my best because I know from the beginning you
have that appreciative mindset towards knowing how long it's taken to get to where it is. It's not just a case of the players that come to Luxol now. Everything's made up for them. It's everything's pretty, paid on time, all the nice things of being a professional futsal player. You're the one that's had to lay that foundation for everyone and grind it out with a few certain individuals that have obviously been alongside you to create this pathway for other players to come now and enjoy.
And for me, it's proud, because I have a lot of confidence with Joe. And Joe, from the day one that I come until now, everything what he promised me, he gave me double.
Yes.
And when I say this, it's not about money. It's about caring.
Yeah,
respect,
attitude.
Because some people, for example, you can ask Joey, and in 10 years, how many times I ask him to grow my salary? I never, because my compromise with the club is different. Obviously, no one survives without money. I have a good salary, I have a good condition with my family, everything. But my focus is always to leave the club there, because I know from where we start. I know from the beginning. I know what we pass, because in the next year, when we win the league, the first season we win the league against Balsan, and the Balsan team, they left the league because fighting with I don't know, and then they join us. So when players and another president Mario join us, so all Malta, they united against Luxol. Because you are rich, blah blah blah, and we lost the league. So against Valletta. So from there, you can see that it's not about money. It's about a program, as about how to work. Because next season we join, this not means that we win the league. So from that loss that we lost, we start learning. You understand? And we win the league, the next league. Then we lost again. And from that loss, we learn completely. And we start working with this condition. And this condition is not enough. We have to...
It's important to have that long-term mindset. Some people are so concerned about short-term success. They would see that first league win and they finish. They're like, okay, good. We're the winners. Next year will be just as easy. It only gets easier from here, but it doesn't. It gets harder and harder. And it's down to the players, down to the coaching staff, the committee members to keep challenging themselves every time you win. Okay, how do we win next year? Because we can't just think it's done now. We can't think we're comfortable.
And this happened before. For example, some presidents come and join others club. Just with the project, like if I bring money for the club, we win. And when they lost, they stop.
And
they don't continue working like Luxol. For example, we lost 2 times in 9 seasons completely, because I'm the 10th season now. But in 9 seasons that I played with Luxol until now, we win 7, but we lost 2. And from those 2 that we lost, we're learning a lot. You understand? A lot. And every season now, we are in 5 years in a row winning the league. And everyone can say, because you have the greatest project or blah, blah, blah. But in every season, the pressure is high. Coach, don't let us relax. President from up. They bring us, especially for foreigners, they bring us new foreigners to not let us relax ourselves.
That's very important.
You understand?
You can't let your best players get comfortable. You need to keep challenging them.
Challenge. So every time we keep challenge, every time when we go to Champions League, we are growing because we challenge ourselves. Because when come new players to join us, we don't want to we are one more. No, we are to be like them. And like this, we challenge ourselves and we fighting to grow up. So, but the other clubs, they don't understand sometimes. Is think that something easy, but it's not easy. Obviously, money make difference.
Money helps,
but not is the main.
It's a solid foundation that allows you to set up to win. If you look at the success of, let's say, in 11-a-side football, Manchester City,
PSG,
the money helped, but the first few years, you have to get it right. You see other teams have been given money like that and they blow it all and they use it badly and then they don't win. And then, like you said, people won't put money in and keep it there if they're not seeing results. So eventually the money goes and the club crashes down. Someone like Queen's Park Rangers in England, they had a huge injection of money, signed the complete wrong players, the money all went, and then they've dropped down, I think, almost 2 leagues at some point. They're hanging on to their status. And
you can see there's an example now of Chelsea, no? Chelsea maybe spend more money than Manchester City now in last windows transfer. They are
such short-term signings, just a random collection of players and they're not getting anything near the results they need. Yeah, it's, again, I think people are, like you said, very quick to blame money. Oh, money's the reason.
Yeah, yes.
Accredit success to money, but it's not. Money is a parachute that will help you like springboard and get to the result quicker. But it's careful planning. It's constantly challenging yourself and having the players with the right mindset to keep pushing with the money that actually allows you to build success. And I think one thing in Maltese football specifically, there's such a focus on short-term success. People really aren't wise enough to see the benefits of a long-term project and patient enough to see out the long-term project. Like you said, the fact that the president of Luxol put together this plan. Yes, the first year was the most important year and it was make or break, but after you achieved that success after the first year, he was then able to put together the 10-year plan that's seen you win 5 out of the last 5 trophies. And it's a credit to his patience and his long-term planning to stay with the project and keep the project pushing every single year, and to the players that have obviously been around for the majority of that journey. So it's good to see that there are teams that are able to put together these projects and see them out. Because there are many teams in the league, I'm sure, that have, I think Zurich and Bormla are one team this year that have put a lot of money forward to try and rival the rest of the teams in the league. I think there's 4 this year that are competing in kind of the top end, which is Luxol, University,
Zurich and
Zurich Bormla. But it will be interesting to see how long Zurich Bormla actually stick around for, because they're one of the teams that, in my mind, I see them putting a lot of money forward. If they don't get the result they want,
and
the money will come straight back out. So we will see.
And to be honest, the 10 years that I'm here in Malta, I'm very, very happy, because I always challenge myself to be better and better. I'm like this, so I do gym every day in the morning. I do diet. I'm with 36 years old, but I still in very good condition. If the injury is respected, for sure I can play 5-6 years more with good level. I don't want to be there on the pitch just because I'm Celino from Luxol, and no, I want to be there giving a result and give a good level.
Impacting the games and being the difference maker.
Being different.
So tell me a little bit about, obviously you've been here for 10 years. What I'm really interested to know is, from your experience, which of those years would you say the competition was at its best? Because in Malta, we know the way the league works in futsal. There's constantly teams investing, constantly teams taking the money away from their teams. This year, the league was a bit of a mismatch. There was, like I said, 4 teams at the top of the table. 2 of the teams, let's face it, are a bit of a joke. One of them already pulled out of the league, which was Santa Venera.
Yes.
And then the other team, Gzira, aren't really fit for competition in the league. You see even the weaker teams in the league are beating them 10, 12-0. So in your 10 years of experience, what sort of period would you say was like the golden period of competition in Malta for futsal?
Honestly, this season, the teams, they are very in good competition. Both of the teams, the 4 teams, they are in the elite round. They can win the league, for example. Obviously, there is 2 that are favorite. That is Luxol and University. But the others 2, they are strong also and they can.
I think Sweetie this year dropped a little
but still they have a block.
They have a very good level, and they are working towards a project. They have changed their style this year, and they're now trying to play a bit more progressive futsal instead of their typical sit back and counter. But again, some of the players I know, even themselves, have said that the quality of some of the recruits that came in aren't the same standard they're used to bringing in. And with University and Zurich both investing, they felt themselves drop down a little bit. And they said even they see themselves as third or fourth, whereas they're used to being second in the league. But University definitely upped this year.
Yes, they are with good players, good foreign players, Maltese players. But in the past, I remember the level of the game. For example, the final that we played, Balsan against Hibernians. It was one of the biggest final. Also, Balsan and Luxol, the first year that we win the league. And between Luxol and Valletta as well, it was a good period between 16, 17, 18.
That was the year that I think, was it Sweetie had joined Valletta?
No, Sweetie joined Valletta now after pandemic.
Okay, so
2021. But those finals, it was a very tough finals. In fact, we lost against Valletta 15-16. But we lost in semi-final that moment, and we win 16-17 against Valletta, and we lost against Valletta 17-18.
So it was like a 3-year rivalry.
Yes, and we win against Valletta 18-19. And then 19-20 come the pandemic, we win the league because they stopped and we was in first place. And 2021 we win against Swiki. 21-22 against Valletta that they joined with Swiki. And 22-23 last season against Wiki. But there was a moment that it was good futsal, to be honest, good opponent. For example, the last year that we won against Valletta 18-19, it was very good level futsal. In Cordin, it was the games. It was a very, very good level. We had a great team. Valletta as well had a great team that moment. But I think this year, they're more balanced. The teams, I think, is coming out.
I think the middle of the competition is competitive. The top end is competitive.
Yes.
There's that little bit at the bottom that could be taken out, and I think that would help the competition. But again, I find it difficult in that the first round. Obviously, every team plays each other. You saw some of the discrepancies in the results. You're seeing some teams beat other teams 25-0.
Yes.
It doesn't look good for the league in my eyes.
When, for example, when we play some games, for example, if we go to play harder, we beat some teams 30.
Yes.
But the coach, he used the first round of the league to train ourselves, for example, to do some new movement, to do some things that we can use it on the finals, for example. But if we take serious, like every game serious, and we have to beat them, like it was not good for the league. Understand?
No.
Even the rule that they have to play one foreigner has to be 121, I think, 23.
Under 23, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the pitch, if you can use two foreigners. We didn't take. We can easily go to Luxol and take one under 23, but we will not play like this in the end.
No.
So this is not working for us. So we try to play with one foreigner and train ourselves and give confidence to the Maltese.
Exactly.
And now we have the Maltese player in very good level because of this, because they play all the first round with confidence, learning the game. And now they can join with two foreigners and they are more confident in the pitch.
Yeah.
So I think the first round of the league, we use it more for this, to train ourselves. Well, because if we go to beat them like crazy, we will beat them, you understand? So I mean the teams from second part of the first four. No, the first four is more competent game.
The first four, the games are close. They're very close.
But the 10 years that I'm in Malta, this year, last 5 years, it was a good level, but as you said, just 3-14. But this year, I think it was more balanced.
Overall, in the 10 years, how much has the homegrown talent improved? So the people from Malta playing futsal. I imagine 10 years ago, the Maltese players probably weren't learned to.
They improve a lot. I think now the last generation that I played, they were very good players, but maybe they didn't have too many opportunities to to have coach that they can coach them to play a very good level.
Because I've spoken to some of the current crop of Maltese players that are kind of in their 30s now, and just kind of was curious about their background, because obviously I know in England futsal wasn't a thing growing up, and I imagined it was very similar here in Malta, that the players probably weren't exposed to futsal until the recent kind of popularity rise of it. And most of them were playing 11-a-side football, had never trained futsal before, and they just make that jump kind of in their 21, 22 years old. They realise maybe they're not going to get that far in football, and they try futsal instead, and they end up really enjoying the game, but they're learning it late. So I think you're seeing, as the years go, the level is increasing.
Increase a lot.
Because now you're seeing the under-16s national team for futsal, under-18s national team futsal. There's a futsal league for the youth players.
Some players, experienced players, they are involved in futsal academy as well. EF futsal academy. So from there we can teach them a lot of things. So now I think the futsal, the kids, they have more opportunities to play futsal, but some of them, they don't take the opportunity.
No.
They go there just to go.
Exactly. But I think definitely it's good to see the improvement. I think the next topic, obviously, that we'll touch on is you dominate the leagues of Malta playing futsal here. How does the national team call up come about, and how do you arrange that? Is that something that you'd imagined when you first moved to Malta, that you would end up representing the national team? Or
from the first year that I came to Malta, I didn't expect, because in my plan it was another one. But after being here 5 years, I started to dream with this, to represent Malta in some official game. But obviously we are foreigner, and we have to wait to apply passports, to wait to answer from here, from that. But when I received the call up from last year, when we played the friendly against Gibraltar, for me it was a big achievement in my career, because with Luxol I win everything, and I want to keep winning. But to represent a country like Malta, who give me a lot of things, who my family is based here, my daughter, most of is like you in England, my daughter is here, so most of her friends, they are here in Malta. So to represent Malta and to wear it's a proud achievement. I feel like it was my country, for example. So I tried to do. I did my best to, especially in those games that we qualified, because what Malta gave me with everything,
you're able to give back
in the sport that I am representing, I am playing for all my life. For me, it was a big achievement in my career.
Was there ever a point, obviously, when you're playing in the top leagues in Spain, was there ever an opportunity to play with Brazil? How does it work in Brazil?
No, it's very hard. The only opportunity I had to play with Brazil, it was when I was under 17. We played Brazil Cup, and I was one of the best of the tournament. And the Brazilian coach, he chose one pre-list of 26 players. And I was one on the pre-list. But when come the call up for to play the official game, he called up 16 players. And I was out.
One of the 10 that got removed.
And then the 16 players, that was just players from big clubs in Brazil. But the only opportunity that I had close to wear my country t-shirt. But for me, Malta, it was like I was wearing a Brazil t-shirt, to be honest.
Well, I mean, let's face it, you've spent the last 10 years of your life devoting everything to help not only build Luxol as a club, to build your own success here, but you are building the success of the whole country in the domestic league by helping Luxol cement themselves in the league. You're improving the league standing, the whole crop. You said you're coaching as well. You are helping the country develop as a nation in a certain capacity. So it's only fair they allow you the opportunity to represent the nation and put on the country's t-shirt. So let's have a quick talk about, obviously, the most recent success of the national team. I think that's very kind of huge achievement in the history of Malta related to any kind of football that goes on here is obviously, tell me about was it the preliminary qualifiers for futsal that just happened? You had 3 games against Scotland, Gibraltar, and who was the last in Switzerland? So tell me about that experience, because it's a bit of a landmark achievement for Malta when it comes to competitive sports, especially 11-a-side football. Malta's not really seen as competitive. They're used to losing and being the bottom of every qualification group and not really having success. You can see their women are starting to produce results on the international stage with the golden generation that they've produced over the recent years, with the likes of Hayley Bougere and some of the other girls that are doing the business abroad in Italy. Talk to me about the futsal success that you guys recently had.
Yes, it was very, very big, because I think Malta futsal, they didn't had one official win in the history. It was the first win in the history, and we win 3 games in a row, and we qualify in first place in the group.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was a very big emotion for me, because I cry a lot because I start in that moment to remember things from the past when I come to Malta, when I win the first league with Luxol, when I win the first play of the year. Every single qualified that Luxol had, I was there.
Yeah. So
the first time one club from Malta qualified to main round of UEFA Champions League, I were there from preliminary to main round. The first club who qualified to main round to elite round, it was Luxol. I were there. And now to be part of the national team as well in this history, for me, it was a big emotion for me in the big, to be part of this group, because we are very united, no? Obviously, it was more players from Luxor, but they had players from university as well, that they were together with us, the staff, the committee, every people behind who worked for this to be.
I think it's really admirable just how together the group is. Obviously, with your fierce rivals in the league, battling it out to try and win first place. And let's face it, it's very competitive this year. But I think everyone in Malta has that national pride of, when it comes to international competitions, league rivalry aside, we're one group. We're going to really try and put Malta on the map and establish ourselves, which you guys did in historic fashion. I've seen some of the goals that were scored in that period of games. And there was the one bicycle kick that was scored by, was it Gianluca Gianfranco? What's his name? The player that chested the ball and did the...
Marwan. Yeah. It was a good moment, to be honest, to be part of this. And also... You
got goals during the games. You scored your first national team goals.
Yes, I had scoring in friendly, but officially I scored 2 in that tournament, and I give, I think, 8 assists. So it's not bad for this tournament. But I'm very proud, to be honest, very happy to represent Malta. And obviously, I still, we win this part. We make very nice success. But we need to keep working to develop the futsal. I wish that new generation, they come with this wish to learn futsal, to play futsal, and to grow the league, because I speak with my family at home. Malta have very good condition to be great in football and futsal.
Yes, it really does.
Because they have a good pitch, they have talent, and as the Iceland is small, you can find talent more easy.
It's so accessible. Yes. Football should be so accessible.
In Brazil, there is a lot of talent losing opportunity because it's too big, so you cannot reach some things. And here you can see that there is talent. I start to follow the young leagues, 11-side league, because my daughter, she had friends from school. So we go to watch game. And I see that there is a lot of talent. So you can use this on futsal as well. I hope that the interest of futsal grow with this success with the national team.
The FA really should make it a priority to get young eyes watching the games, because obviously what encourages young children into wanting to do something is seeing your country win. And obviously we know in football, the men's team, the gap between the men's team and the rest of the teams, there's still a lot to go.
Yes.
But the success that the women's team and the futsal team are having right now, that should be such a priority for the FA to be making sure the younger generations are watching and seeing their nation and these larger than life characters, because they're superheroes. You guys are superheroes to the young kids that are watching you on TV. And if they see you guys performing and doing well and playing against big countries and winning, it will inspire them to want to be the next person that's on TV winning games. And
this is the objective, not for the new generation. They can see this and they can be proud. Now I want to achieve this as well. And I hope that futsal is already improving a lot, is growing a lot, but I hope that more.
So with the qualification you guys just achieved in the international competition, what does that mean now? What competition did you qualify for?
Because it's for Euro 2026.
Okay.
And we played the preliminary round now. And we qualify in first in whole group with 12 countries. And now we join the main round with the biggest...
The big teams from Europe.
From Europe. Will be, I think, is 10 or 8 groups of 4 countries, and 2 pass for the next round. But now they're coming Spain, Portugal, the biggest one. So we play home and away. How
do you feel going into the games with the big countries like Spain and Portugal?
It's hard. We still need to work a lot. We are not there in this level yet. But I think it's nice to be around, because once you are there and you are competing with them, you grow yourself.
Yes.
So you only grow yourself, compete with the biggest. You
understand the difference. You understand what the gap is, and you can start to try and close it.
And that's the objective. The first objective was to be there. And now we are there. We have to not to go there just to clap them, to work hard, to believe that we can do something, obviously respecting the condition that they are the best, they are stronger, they have the best league, but also we have to work, and believe that we can growing up.
I think obviously with the experience that you've had in the top leagues of Spain, you will be one of those players that the rest of the team are looking up to help guide them and help them understand the difference in level. At that international stage. Obviously, if you were to come up against someone like Spain, you have that experience of being in that league, playing at the top level in that league. So you understand what the sort of players are going to be like coming up against. And it's a valuable asset for Malta to have as a nation, to have someone that has been and done it at the biggest stage and understands what the level is to help grow the rest of the team. And
to give confidence for my teammates, because some of them, they are not with those experience, not to play some hard game like that. But I have to use the experience that I have to show them that in the pitch we can do something together,
Right, I have a few questions for you before I think we wrap up and I let you go. I've had you for over 2 hours now. So, a few quick fire questions. What football team do you support?
In Brazil, I support Flamengo, and in Europe, Barcelona.
Okay. And who was your inspiration growing up? Which player would you look at? And
futsal?
Let's do futsal and let's do football.
Football in the past, it was Zinedine Zidane.
Okay.
And obviously I love the Brazilian players like Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Romario.
Ronaldo was always my hero. I loved Ronaldo.
But the way how to play, it was my making game. I love Zidane.
Zidane was like the puppet master.
Yes, like Iniesta, no? And futsal, I love Ricardinho.
Okay.
The Portuguese. Obviously, in Brazil, they're the biggest player, like Falcão, the biggest one. But I love Ricardinho because when I played against him, he showed me not that he's biggest as a player, but as a opponent and human as well. So he respect the opponent.
Okay.
He can he can show up his quality, but he respect the opponent. If he kick you strong, he ask you sorry.
Yes.
He ask if you are okay. Before the game, he come and he speak with you after the game. He wish you good luck. He's intensity player, so he do fouls, he do everything, but always with respect. So I love those kind of people that they are great, but also they are great humans. No?
It's important to be able to respect your opponent.
Yes.
Sometimes I think a lot of players get caught up in the emotion of the game, and they might respect the opponent before and after the game, but during the game they lose that respect. I know I'm guilty of that. I can be horrible on the football pitch.
Even me, for example, when I compete and I'm very aggressive now because I fight for my t-shirt.
But for me, the second the whistle goes, the game is done, the competition is over.
Finish.
I have no hard feelings to anyone.
Because my career, for example, when I use Luxol t-shirt, for example, Malta t-shirt is my professional thing. So my family needs this.
Exactly.
I need this, so I do my everything. So obviously I'm not dirty, but I fight for my objective.
Who would you say was the best teammate that you've played with in your entire career? So looking back at all the teams you've played with, which teammate would you say is the best player you've played with?
I had a lot.
Feel free to use this time to reel off some of the
but
big
I will choose one from Malta.
Okay.
That I played. It was Leanderson. He is now playing in Kazakhstan.
Okay.
And was one of the players that we understand each other very, very good inside and outside the pitch.
Yeah.
But I had biggest player that I played together in Spain, in Brazil. For example, my idol when I was young, his name is Bila from my city.
Okay.
So he was greatest player that I played in Brazil.
Yeah. Who are some of the players in Spain that you played with that were top for you?
Top. I had Pipi, that he won the World Cup with Spain 2004. He was great player. I had in Asturias Neto, Brazilian pivot. It was great players as well. Now I Chano, it was a Spanish player, very good player. He played national team as well.
And now on the flip side, greatest opponents. Which players have you played against? You said
Ricardinho.
You played against Ricardinho. Yes. Who else have you played against that you were like, wow, they're a very, very good player?
I played against a lot of good players. But Ricardinho is a top one. Because I remember I never do this in my life after that anymore. Because when we was going to play against Inter Movistar at that time, Ricardinho was the best player of the world.
Yep.
And as I was the first five of my team I was, and he was the first five of his team. So we was playing against each other in the first minute of the game. And he's left and me right. So I started thinking we will crash a lot of time in the game because I will defend him a lot. Yeah. So how I can defend him? And I entered in the mistake to watch in YouTube some videos from him to see how he play. I never do this in my life anymore because in YouTube only show he doing crazy thing with opponents.
Yeah.
And I said he will do the same with me tomorrow. And all night I didn't sleep thinking about how I will defend him, But when it comes to the game, I forget and I played very good. But he was the best one that I played against, for sure.
And final question, what's next?
What next?
What's next in your journey?
Yes, I hope to win the 6th league in a row with Luxol and to finish now the season in a great way. And now the responsibility is double because I am national team player now.
Yeah.
So I have to take care of myself to be always in good shape, to represent good my country, that is now my country. And also every season doing my best to represent Luxol as well in the best way. That is my club for the last 10 years, and also they are giving me a lot of things that I have to be proud of that.
Is there ever a plan to go back to Brazil, or you're
at the moment, no. At the moment,
quite happy
no.
in Malta?
I'm happy in Malta. Obviously, I never say no because it's my country, no. But at the moment, I'm very happy in Malta. My daughter, she's very happy in the school as well. My wife also is very happy here. So we like to keep going, in the life, enjoying the life. But at the moment, I have the plan to still stay here.
Celino, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast.
It was my pleasure.
Honestly, what a story. An amazing journey. Not single-handedly, together with Luxol, growing the sport of futsal in Malta and really putting it on the map and helping the nation get inspired by the sport. I think you've been a key figure in bringing futsal to the eyes of Malta and really allowing people to see what high-level futsal is like. And I'm sure you will continue to bring success to Malta at the national stage and keep making the country proud. We're going to finish episode 22 of the Unprofessional Footballer Podcast there. Celino, where are you on social media? What's your Instagram? And I'll put it on the screen behind so people can find you.
My Instagram is Celino Alves 03.
So guys,
Celino Futsal 03.
So guys, if you do want to continue following Celino's journey and see what else is in store for him in the next few years, go and find him on Instagram. Are you on any other platforms? Are there any other social medias that you have?
I have
Twitter as well.
Celino Futsal 03 as well. And Facebook Celino Futsal.
Perfect. So guys, make sure you follow Celino and keep track of how the national team and how Luxol finishes this year. I'm sure the final part of the season is going to be very exciting. I know the semi-finals of the Cup are happening. Is it tomorrow?
Friday we play.
And I think Sweetie have their game tomorrow
Wednesday, yes.
that I'm going to try and make sure I attend because I feel like I need to go and support the boys. It's been a while. But it's been a pleasure having you on. Guys, if you've liked the episode, do leave a like on the video and comment down below if there's anyone else that you would like to see on the podcast. Subscribe to the channel for more podcast action, and feel free to go and check out the Five-a-Side series that's also running alongside us right now every Saturday at 6 p.m. And we'll finish there. See you later.